All right, so I'm here with Savage. Savage, how old are you?
I'm 31.
And are you originally from Arizona?
No, I've only been out here 13 days.
13 days. Where are you from originally?
Well, I moved here from New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Born and raised in Montana, Fort Peck Indian Reservation.
All right. And what are you doing out here in Arizona?
I'm out here starting a new life.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had to get away from Albuquerque to stay out of trouble.
How's it going so far? Is it?
Straight up, it's not the best. You know what I mean?
What's the difference between Arizona and Albuquerque?
On the streets?
Yeah.
These here are grimy.
Is it more grimy than Albuquerque?
I don't know. They're ruthless out there, but out here they're like this, sneak up on you and like plot on you. I'm used to it being all in your face with it. You know what I mean? Out here I don't know. While you're asleep, they'll take your. You know
So
what I mean?
from your experience, Arizona is more dangerous than Albuquerque?
Not necessarily. Just more so people robbing you.
Yeah.
They're gonna take your, but they're not gonna be in your face with it. They're gonna wait until you turn your head or until you walk out to go to the bathroom, and they'll take everything. They don't just take one thing; they take it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the only difference. I wouldn't say more dangerous though. I got to know a lot there, which is why I'm here.
What's your current situation right now? Are you homeless?
I'm homeless. Yes.
Yeah. And how long have you been homeless for?
4 months.
4 months?
Yeah.
Were you already homeless out there in New Mexico?
Yeah. I came out here with $3 in my pocket and the clothes on my back.
So how'd you end up out here?
Well, I was in county jail. Yeah. I had gone and done a 32-day stint for getting a high-speed chase with the cops in a G-Ride. Did 32 days out there. By the grace of God, the judge released me, allowed me to come out here. My dad just got diagnosed with cancer. So I told him if I can come out here, where his entire side of the family is at, you know what I mean? And try to start something new, put some roots down, because my kids deserve a little bit better. Yeah. I just been kind of having a hard start because me and him got into a little bit, so I'm not at his house anymore. I'm back homeless again. I was like not homeless for like a week, and back out here again because I'm 31 years old and I'm not gonna answer questions. I'm not a child. You're not gonna question me. I've always made my own way and taken care of myself, so I decided to come back and make my way and start from scratch again. You know what I mean? All my dad's side of the family's out here, so my entire family's out here on my dad's side.
And do they know about your current situation right now, about you being homeless?
Oh yeah. They don't agree with the use.
Okay.
But that's not gonna stop right now.
Is that the reason for your homelessness? Is it because of substances?
It's a large part of that. On some real shit. You know, I'm bullshitting. I'm like my priorities are a little bit up, but.
Is that what caused the fallout between you and your family?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. They completely stopped talking to me for a couple months.
Yeah.
Until I went to jail, and then when I went there, I called them and got a hold of them, and my dad drove out there with COVID and cancer to come and pick me up so I could start fresh out here. I mean, I got some stuff in the works, but it's not going in the at the pace he wants it to go. Yeah. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? So I decided to just move out because I know I'll be all right. I'll make a way. It's rough out here, but I've done it before. You know what I mean? Start from zero and build my ass all the way back up. I own a business in Albuquerque.
Do you?
So I owned one. I don't have one anymore. I went to jail and that up. But I had a salon for 6 years out there, so I'm like, I can do that again.
What kind of business were you running out there?
Hair. I do hair, yeah. So I had a salon. So I'm waiting for the first. Honestly, I could get my barber Cosmo business license transferred over, $650. Get back working. You know what I mean? That's literally all I'm waiting on.
Do you have like a cosmetology license and all that?
Yeah, it's a cosmetology and a barber license, yeah, and a business license, a combo. Okay. So I have to pay $650 to get that transferred over here.
So you have all those skills and you're still out here homeless.
Yep. It doesn't matter if you don't have a clientele or, you know what I mean? Which is why, like, day one when I got out here, I got out and started talking to people and making connections and seeing what was what and who was who, because, you know, that's the only way you're going to build anything is by getting to know people. Yeah. You know what I mean? And making connections with people and word of mouth, basically.
So where do you sleep at night? Do you sleep out on the streets or do you get like a weekly hotel? Or
I usually get like a hotel.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But there's been a few nights I've had to sleep outside. You know what I mean? But luckily, by the grace of God, people out here are really, people in the homeless community are really tight knit. Yeah. They'll take care of you. You know what I mean? The night I was brand new, and I was brand new out on the streets. Like first night out, I had somebody that, you know, let me sleep in their tent, and you know what I mean, fed me, and you know what I mean. They looked out for me. Like the people out here, they're really close knit. You know what I mean? They're actually more close knit than the people that are out here having 9-to-5 jobs. Yeah. You know what I mean? A lot of them don't know their neighbors. You know, people that are living in the suburbs or whatever, they don't know their neighbors a lot of times. You know what I mean? Unless they make it a point to know their neighbors. Out here, everybody knows you. because they see you struggling too. They're going through it too.
And what about, like, how do you survive out here? What do you do to survive out here?
I'm a booster.
You're a booster?
Yeah.
And how much do you have, like, a goal? Like, you try to make a certain amount of money a day, or?
Like every day I try to make 400. At least 3. But there's been bad days where I've only made 100.
Yeah.
Maybe $60. Those are the days where, honestly, that goes towards my habit and I end up sleeping outside.
And have you been boosting for a long time, or you just started that?
Well, I had my salon for 6 years, and my side hustle was kind of the boosting, just to like make ends meet, because I'm a single mom. I have 3 kids, so I did that to, pay extra bills and stuff like that, keep food in my kids' mouth.
And what about, like, your kids, and where are your kids at right now?
My kids are with their dad right now. I had to make a better decision for them. To be in a more stable situation until I could get something set up out here. They're supposed to be here in 2 weeks, so I'm giving myself like a 2-week deadline to get my shit together.
So your kids are in Albuquerque right now?
Mm-hmm. They're with their dad right now.
And how's the dad? Is he like on his feet and?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
He just got married. He just had 2 brand new babies. It's just hard because I've raised them by myself pretty much for 13 years. They're close with their dad, and I send them out with him every summer to Virginia. He just moved to Albuquerque, but they're used to me being around. So like my son, when I talk to him, he's like, this weekend trip turned into a 2-week trip. So what's going on? When are we coming home? You know what I mean? Because they're used to having me around. He never helped me out financially, period, with them. But I allowed them to see each other, and I never stopped that because I feel like that is important to have that father figure around.
You never want to get in between a father.
No, I'm not that bitch that's gonna keep the kids away from their dad. No, because that shit's important. My dad's been important in my life. So I know it's important for them. Yeah. Especially my 13-year-old son, he wants his dad.
And how was your childhood growing up? Was it good? Was it a good childhood?
I come from a good family. Yeah, I come from a good family, just a rough place, just a place. I grew up on a reservation in Montana. Okay. So like,
so you're Native American?
Yeah, my mom is full Native.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, I grew up on a reservation out there, and that's a really like hopeless place.
Yeah.
There's no jobs in town for people there. All there is and getting drunk and getting in trouble, basically. Everybody has to commute out of town for work. Unless you work at school or you're a cop or you work at the ice cream shop down the street. Those are low-end jobs. You're not getting paid well for that.
It's the same situation out here.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Everybody's wandering the streets, or they're sleeping in abandoned houses or something like that. But they get benefits, so it's a little bit easier for them to have a place. You know what I mean? Because they're getting public housing and like that, and per cap. Like out here, it's just figure out your resources yourself and hope you do well. You know what I mean? You gotta search around and try to find assistance for housing and food stamps and stuff like that, and find a way to get there at that. City's a lot bigger out here. Out there, it's a small town. It's like 1,000 people.
Are you currently trying to get clean or anything like that? Are you trying to leave the substances behind? I'm
weaning myself down.
Okay.
I went from smoking like 18 blues a day to now I'm down to 8. And that's like huge for me because it's not easy. You know what I mean? I don't feel well for most of the day because I'm used to having a lot more in my system. Yeah. But I'm trying to have it that by the time my kids get here, I'm not.
That's good.
Because they don't deserve that type of life. You know what I mean? And my son will know if I'm on some.
Okay, if we have any younger viewers watching this interview and they're thinking about trying substances, what kind of advice would you give them?
Leave that alone. Focus on school. I know that's easy to say, and people say that, and when you're young, you don't give a fuck about anything. You don't want to hear that shit. You know what I mean? You have it set in your mind and that you think you know everything, and you got the world figured out. But to be real, I honestly didn't until like the last couple of years.
When you were that young and you were like in your teens, what was something that someone could have said to you that would have made you change your mind about the path that you took?
Honestly, if somebody would have sat down and told me like their story, like their life story, because you hear things here and there and it's kind of like, oh man, that's too bad, you know what I mean? Because people we're real numb to like people's situations, and you see on the streets, you see people out here laid out. We don't think twice about it, you just drive on by. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna give them $1 even though they're thirsty as hell and they're dehydrated and it's hot as hell. We're not empathetic to their situation because we got our own shit going on. You know what I mean? Sorry. Problem, right? Yeah, it is. But if I would have like actually heard somebody's full story, like I feel like that might have given me like a real reality check and something that I would have related to would have made me realize more. You know what I mean? If their situation was somehow relatable to mine, that probably would have made me snap, or just had an OG come and tell me like, yo, you're up. You know. On some real shit, you got a lot more potential than what the fuck you're doing right now. If somebody would have sat down and told me that, I probably would have taken that into account.
Do you think these youngsters take the OG's word that serious out here in the streets?
I think I know a lot of youngsters that do, a lot of young bucks, like, you know what I mean? If I sit down and I tell them some shit, I'm 31, if I tell them some shit and they're like 18, fresh out, they kind of blow me off, but at the end of the day, they'll come back and they'll start talking to me about something that's going on with them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I've been there, you know what I mean? Like, all that. Focus on going to military. Whatever you were originally planning on doing, dope, fuck selling that shit. It's not going to get you nowhere but in prison or dead.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I've been in the system for 12 years, like, studying for nobody, because when I had my son, I was 17. I've been in the system for 12 years, so since I was 19, I caught my first charge. By the time I was 5, my son had seen me go to jail 7 times. Like, so I figured I didn't want him to live that life anymore. So I kind of like kicked back out of the scene and focused on being a mom and a business owner and a wife. And like, that was like the happiest time of my life. Then, sorry. Some really unfortunate shit happened, and me and my ex of 10 years, we split up, and now I'm out here. So it's like, I kind of went back to that because it was really all I knew to survive without my stable job. So, like, but my kids deserve better than this. So it's like, when I went back to jail this last time, I'm like, I gotta get back to my life, the normal, the routine, the 9 to 5, because that's like, at the end of the day, that's what I miss, is being around my kids and being able to go home at the end of the day and spend time with them. I don't want to be out in these streets hustling and trapping and doing all that. Like, what is it getting me? It's getting me, I'm surviving every day, but I'm not living. You know what I mean? I'm not really doing anything enjoyable with my kids and the people I care about. And that's the shit that matters. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
Exactly.
But, I mean, like, if there are youngsters, like, shit, your family is where it's at. Your family are the people that are going to hold you down. These people out here that act like your friends, they're not really your friends. They fuck you over at the drop of a dime. They have good mouthpieces and they make it sound good, but a situation could pop up where you really get into it because you're living the lifestyle now, and they're dipping, or they're going to drop a dime on your ass because nobody wants to do any time. They all care about themselves at the end of the day. So don't put yourself out there for anybody that wouldn't even think twice about you over.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's honest. Like, there's people that I swore my best friends were solid, had my back, would do anything for me. The minute some happened and popped off, like, I ended up only being the only solid one because I was going out of the way from that didn't even give a about me. They just made it sound good. You know what I mean? That's to wrap your head around. But it's happened so many times now that it's like, man, if I put myself out there like that, I'm stupid. I'm allowing it to happen. You know what I mean? So I mostly keep to myself. I mean, I talk to people. I talk to everybody. You know what I mean? Everywhere I go. But I keep them at an arm's length when it comes to trusting them. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can only rely on me. At the end of the day, I can't rely on anybody out here.
All right. Well, Savage, thank you for sharing your story. I really do appreciate it. Are you okay with me putting this on my YouTube channel?
Man.
And just in case some of my subscribers want to reach out to you with any sort of help, any donations or anything like that, do you have any social media where they can reach you at?
My Facebook is Breezy Perales, BreezyPerales on Facebook Messenger. I don't really get on Facebook, but Facebook Messenger I do use all the time.
Okay.
So that's the only one I got.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.